I've had three different people ask me to do a video of the best heavyweights of all time, just solely based on their era alone. So I'm not comparing who would win in a fight, I'm just comparing who's the best era for era. And when I mean era, I mean their entire career, from the first fight to their very last fight. Some people might say that's unfair because boxers fight past their prime, but every single boxer either fights past their prime or is a novice to start off with. So no, they're not at their best their entire career. So it is fair to assess them that way. Now, the three things I'm going to assess them on is their win-loss ratio. So that's just their wins divided by their losses. Their title defences at the number one spot, though, that's very important because back in Joe Louis's day, there was only one world title, and it was very hard to get a fight for that world title. Now there's four different belts, five if you include the Ring magazine, and just because you get your hands on the belt doesn't mean you've beat the best guy around. There could always be someone above you. So it only compares to someone like Joe Louis if you're actually at the number one spot. So it's only title defences when you're at the very number one spot, as in you're the proven best in the division at that time. And the last thing I'm going to assess them on is their rounds lost compared to how many fights they've had. So rounds lost during their career divided by the amount of fights they've had. The reason I'm going to divide it by the amount of fights they've had is if someone's had a shorter career, they're less likely to lose a lot of rounds compared to someone that's had a lot of fights during their career. Very simple. So to assess them fairly, what I've done is I've found out the amount of rounds they've lost during their career and divided it by the amount of fights they've had, so everyone's on a level playing field there. So I'll start with the win-loss ratio. Now, number one is Tunney. He won 65 fights, only lost one. Number two is Rocky Marciano, won 49 fights, never lost any. That might be a bit controversial for people, but I think fighting 65 fights and only winning one is more impressive than just having 49 fights and not continuing. And that is still a ratio, it's still objective because he's only lost one fight, so he does go above Rocky Marciano. Number three is Michael Spinks, 31. Number four, Vitali Klitschko, 22.5. Number five, Joe Louis, 61. After that, it is number six, Lennox Lewis. Number seven, Wladimir Klitschko. Number eight, George Foreman. Number nine, Sonny Liston. Number 10, Larry Holmes. Number 11, Muhammad Ali. Number 12, Jack Dempsey. Number 13, Mike Tyson. Number 14, Chris Byrd. Number 15, Joe Frazier. Number 16, Floyd Patterson. Number 17, Jack Johnson. Number 18, Evander Holyfield. And number 19, at the very end, Ezzard Charles. Now, title defences, again, at the number one spot. This might annoy some people, but it's the only fair way of doing it and comparing people now to fighters back then. So number one, Joe Louis, 26 title defences at the number one spot. Number two is Ali and Larry Holmes, share that with 19 title defences. Number three, Wladimir Klitschko with 18 title defences. Number four, Ezzard Charles with 8 title defences. Number five, Jack Johnson with 7 title defences. Then number 6 spot is Floyd Patterson, Rocky Marciano, Evander Holyfield. Number 7 is Lennox Lewis. Number 8, Joe Frazier and Jack Dempsey. Number 9 is Michael Spinks. Number 10, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, Gene Tunney. And last, at the 11th place with only a single title defence to their name, is Vitali Klitschko, Sonny Liston and Chris Byrd. Now, rounds lost, and I've divided it by the amount of fights they have, but since that won't mean anything at all to anybody, I will just go through a list and I'll just give you the top 5 and how many actually rounds they've lost during their career. So Vitali Klitschko's number 1, only lost 9 rounds during his entire career. He's the only boxer in history to lose single digit rounds during his career, which is very impressive. Wladimir Klitschko's number 2, 29 losses. Number 3 is Lennox Lewis with 33 losses. Number 4 is Sonny Liston with 41 losses. Mike Tyson is number 5 with 49 losses. Then it's Marciano, number 6. Number 7 is George Foreman. Number 8 is Joe Lewis. Number 9 is Floyd Patterson. Number 10 is Larry Holmes. Number 11 is Tunney. Number 12 is Michael Spinks. Number 13, Joe Frazier. Number 14, Chris Byrd. Number 15, Jack Johnson. Number 16, Jack Dempsey. Number 17, Ali. Number 18 is Ezzard Charles. And number 19, Evander Holyfield. Now, how I've assessed them all fairly is if you get a number 1 spot in any one of these 3 divisions, you get 20 points. Number 2, 19 points. Number 3, 18 points. And at the end, we add up everyone's points from all 3 categories and see what happens at the end. So I've done that, and I'll give you the list from the very bottom to the number 1 person at the top. So the last person is Evander Holyfield. He's at number 16 with 19 points out of 60. Number 15 is Ezzard Charles with 20 points out of 60. Number 14 is Chris Byrd with 24 points out of 60. Jack Johnson's number 13 with 26 points out of 60. Joe Frazier and Jack Dempsey is number 12 with 27 points out of 60. Number 11 is Floyd Patterson with 32 points out of 60. Number 10 is Muhammad Ali with 33 points out of 60. Number 9 is Mike Tyson with 35 points out of 60. Number 8 is Michael Spinks with 37 points out of 60. Number 7 is George Foreman with 38 points out of 60. Number 6 is shared by Sonny Liston and Tunney with 39 points out of 60. Number 5 is Larry Holmes with 41 points out of 60. Number 4 is Vitali Klitschko with 46 points out of 60. Number 3 is Rocky Marciano and Lennox Lewis with 47 points out of 60. Number 2 is Joe Lewis with 48 points out of 60. And number 1 is Wladimir Klitschko, who scores 51 points out of 60. So there you go. I've finally done a list of the best heavyweights of all time. I've done it objectively. If anyone has any other way you'd like me to assess it, I'll try it out as long as it is objective. I won't do it any other way. And I think I've done it as fairly as I can. If you're not happy with the list, then, well, you're not happy with the list. That's the best way of objectively comparing boxers from different eras. How great they were in their era compared to how good they were in a past or future era. So hope you've enjoyed the video.